Hey there, welcome to another episode of Blake's Everyday Podcast. I had a long day today. I don't know about all of you guys, but it was a long day. Went to two different little gatherings and it's a lot of fun. But so tired. No, it's a little bit earlier than most, earlier than when I usually do these videos. So when I'm yawning and it's like 9:30, then that's pretty crazy. But last night we read 1 Samuel chapter 1. So today we're going to read 1 Samuel chapter 2, to say the least. Yeah, probably just keep it short and sweet tonight. Just got work tomorrow, and I am exhausted. So the title for chapter 2 is Hannah's Prayer. Then Hannah prayed and said, "My heart rejoices in the Lord, and the Lord my horn is lifted high. My mouth boasts over my enemies, for I delight in your deliverance. There is no one holy like the Lord. There is no one besides you. There is no rock like our God. Do not keep talking so proudly, or let your mouth speak such arrogance. For the Lord is a God who knows, and by him deeds are weighed. The bows of the warriors are broken, but those who stumbled are armed with strength. Those who were full hire themselves out for food, but those who were hungry are hungry no more. She who was barren has borne 7 children, but she who had many sons pines away. The Lord brings death and makes alive. He brings down the grave and raises up. The Lord sends poverty and wealth. He humbles and he exalts. He raises the poor from the dust, and he lifts the needy from the ash heap. He seats them with princes and has them inherit a throne of honor. For the foundations of the earth are the Lord's. On them he has set the world. He will guard the feet of his faithful servants, but the wicked will be silenced in the place of darkness. It is not by strength that one prevails. Those who oppose the Lord will be broken. The Most High will thunder from heaven. The Lord will judge the ends of the earth. He will give strength to his king and exalt the horn of his anointed." Then Elkanah went home to Ramah, but the boy ministered before the Lord under Eli the priest. Eli's sons were scoundrels. They had no regard for the Lord. Now it was the practice of the priests that whenever any of the people offered a sacrifice, the priest's servant would come with a 3-pronged fork in his hand while the meat was being boiled, and would plunge the fork into the pan or kettle or cauldron or pot. Whatever the fork brought up, the priest would take for himself. This is how they treated all the Israelites who came to Shiloh. But even before the fat was burned, the priest's servant would come and say to the person who was sacrificing, "Give the priest some meat to roast. He won't accept boiled meat from you, but only raw." If the person said to him, "Let the fat be burned first, and then take whatever you want," the servant would answer, "No, hand it over now. If you don't, I'll take it by force." This sin of the young men was very great in the Lord's sight, for they were treating the Lord's offering with contempt. But Samuel was ministering before the Lord, a boy wearing a linen ephod. Each year his mother made him a little robe, and took it to him. When she went up with her husband to offer the annual sacrifice, Eli would bless Elkanah and his wife, saying, "May the Lord give you children by this woman to take the place of the one she prayed for and gave to the Lord." Then they would go home, and the Lord was gracious to Hannah. She gave birth to 3 sons and 2 daughters. Meanwhile, the boy Samuel grew up in the presence of the Lord. Now Eli, who was very old, heard about everything his sons were doing to all Israel, and how they slept with the women who served at the entrance to the tent of meeting. So he said to them, "Why do you do such things? I hear from all the people about these wicked deeds of yours. No, my sons, the report I hear spreading among the Lord's people is not good. If one person sins against another God may mediate for the offender. But if anyone sins against the Lord, who will intercede for them?" His sons, however, did not listen to their father's rebuke, for it was the Lord's will to put them to death. And the boy Samuel continued to grow in stature and in favor with the Lord and with people. Now a man of God came to Eli and said to him, "This is what the Lord says. Did I not clearly reveal myself to your ancestors' family when they were in Egypt under Pharaoh? I chose your ancestor out of all the tribes of Israel to be my priest, to go up to my altar, to burn incense, and to wear an ephod in my presence. I also gave your ancestors' family all the food offerings presented by the Israelites. Why do you scorn my sacrifice and offering that I prescribed for my dwelling? Why do you honor your sons more than me by fattening yourselves on the choice parts of every offering made by my people Israel? Therefore the Lord, the God of Israel, declares, I promised that members of your family would minister before me forever. But now the Lord declares, far be it from me. Those who honor me I will honor, but those who despise me I will be disdained. The time is coming when I will cut short your strength and the strength of your priestly house, so that no one in it will reach old age, and you will see distress in my dwelling. Although good will be done to Israel, no one in your family line will ever reach old age. Every one of you that I do not cut off from serving at my altar, I will spare only to destroy your sight and sap your strength. And all your descendants will die in the prime of life. And what happens to your 2 sons, Hophni and Phinehas, will be a sign to you. They will both die on the same day. I will raise up for myself a faithful priest who will do according to what is in my heart and mind. I will firmly establish his priestly house, and they will minister before my anointed one always. Then everyone left in your family line will come and bow down before him for a piece of silver and a loaf of bread and plead, appoint me to some priestly office so I can have food to eat." All right. I'm guessing we got like all types of descriptions, but that could be wrong. Yeah, we do. We have 5 descriptions here. Chapter 2, verses 1 through 3. Note the words in Hannah's prayer of rejoicing. My heart rejoices in the Lord. She was praising the one responsible for her deliverance, God himself. He had delivered her from the trauma of infertility, giving her a son. And after Hannah gave Samuel into God's service, he blessed her with other children. This certainly would have lightened the burden of seeing her firstborn son only once a year. Obedience was surely difficult, even painful, but sorry about that. Obedience was surely difficult, even painful, but it was for the good of Hannah and Samuel, and ultimately for the good of all Israel. Our obedience to God, as painful as it might be at times, will ultimately bring us joy. Dear gosh. It will also bring blessings to the people chose close to us. I'm about to freak out. I am so ready to just freak out because I can't clear my throat. I sound like a freaking yawning, tired, getting really pissed off with myself, honestly. All right. Chapter 2, verses 4 through 10. Hannah continued her prayer of praise, thanking God for blessing her. She said, those who stumbled are armed with strength. God provided not only the deliverance, but also the strength she needed. He gave Hannah the strength to persevere in the process, to seek freedom, to adopt new attitudes, to fulfill responsibilities, to set things straight, to build a new life. Such honest praise of God's power will naturally burst forth as we surrender our lives to God and see Him move on our behalf. As we surrender ourselves to Him, grieving and letting go of all our hearts and cares, the Father moves immediately to answer our prayers and do His good work in us. Chapter 2, verses 12 through 17. Eli's sons sinned unspeakably by treating God's offerings with contempt. They failed to realize that the sacrifices were God's provision for the people's sin. They stole from the sacrifices as if these ceremonies had been instituted for their own personal pleasure rather than for healing and purification. God has provided for our redemption by giving the ultimate sacrifice on our behalf. If we treat Christ with contempt, we are guilty of doing the same thing. Let us show proper respects for the compassion, love, and power that God has shown to us through Christ. Let us wholeheartedly embrace His provision for our healing. Chapter 2, verses 20 through 21. Here we see that Hannah was blessed with additional children. God is in the business of blessing His people beyond their requests and expectations. Chapter 2, verses 23 through 34. Here Eli confronts his sons about their blatant sin. He surely hoped they would make significant changes in their lives. Unfortunately, they didn't listen to their father. The young men refused to set boundaries on their behavior, and they displayed no desire to change. Their choice to go their own way brought dire consequences, ultimately physical death. Eli, too, made a choice. He opted to ignore his sons' continued disobedience. Thus, the high priest failed in his responsibility to God and was eventually judged for it. Eli was told that his descendants would die in the prime of life, including his sons, who would die on the same day. What a bitter harvest we reap when we refuse to turn from sin. Wow. Okay. Oh, man. mean, it's not going to be a long video, but I'm sure everybody's kind of tired tonight. It's been a long weekend. We got work tomorrow, which kind of stinks, but it is what it is. Now, let's go ahead and say prayer. Oh, man. Dear God, we come to you tonight just blessed and totally gracious for these opportunities to read your word, Lord. As we were blessed with another Sunday, Lord, and we pray to be blessed with another day after this, to read your good word, Lord. And I couldn't be more grateful for the way that you've kept your hands over my family and I pray that you continue to watch over us and keep food in our tummies. I shouldn't say tummies, but belly, our stomachs. I pray that we can continue reading your good word, and I pray that you'll continue watching over us, and I pray that whoever might need to hear a message from you, Lord, I hope that they can hear it. In God's name, amen. That might have been my worst prayer. Tummies. Have a great rest of your night.